I'm Mark.
And I'm Domino. Thank you for joining us for our ultra spooky Halloween episode of Rock City.
All right, time now for music news. Now I got some great Led Zeppelin news.
Well, let's hear it.
It looks like Robert Plant and Jimmy Page has gone back and started remastering all the old Zeppelin albums. The last time they've been remastered was like in early 1990s. This time they have found some outtakes and some alternate versions of some songs from back in the day, and they're thinking about putting those on the disc. I think I think everyone has all the Zeppelin albums remastered at one point in time, so kind of an incentive to buy them again,
new stuff,
with new stuff on them. And I'll probably be the sucker that buys this whole catalog for the fourth time.
And you're going to buy the special edition.
Oh, I'm sure
because
I
you're
will.
a music slut and that's what you have to do.
Exactly, yeah. And I will. So the cool thing is, I guess John Paul Jones, who the bassist is, did a song where he sang. No one has ever sang at any Zeppelin recording, in the band, except for Robert Plant.
Right.
And I guess John Paul Jones is saying, I will give you a greenhouse and a car, do not put this on there. So it's like, okay, so it is something that is
I
very
want to see
unique.
Robert Plant's greenhouse.
No kidding. You know he lives in Austin now.
Oh.
So it's not that far away.
Road trip.
Yes, exactly. So what do you got in music news?
All right, we've got some pretty exciting stuff coming out of Boston. They're releasing their first album in 10 years. It's going to come out December 3rd. It's got 11 brand new tracks. More importantly, it's featuring vocals from the late Brad Delp, which if you're a Boston fan, that's a huge deal. It's going to have Tommy DiCarlo as well.
Excellent.
So what we're hearing, though, is that it's going to be really unique and really diverse. So definitely December 3rd. Make sure you check that out.
Yeah, I definitely, that'll be the first thing I check out that day because I'm a huge Boston fan. I grew up on that band. So to even hear anything that has Brad Delp still entangled in that band will be amazing.
A little blast from the past.
Yes, most definitely. Great.
Awesome.
All right, that was music news for this week. All right, time now for Pick of the Week. It's on the Record Roundtable or Rec Table.
It's the Rec Table.
Yes. I think it's Halloween. It's still Halloween-ish, so a little Slipknot action.
Very first album I ever listened to by Slipknot is going to be the self-titled album, Slipknot.
It's a great one.
It's very cliche, but Eyeless and Wait and Bleed were the two songs that really kind of drew me in, and ever since then, I've kind of been on the Slipknot bandwagon.
I'm going to tell you that's not cliche because it's just badass. Seriously. It's like anything that is Slipknot related, there's no cliche because it's all just so fucking dirty and down to the ground. It's like, there's not a radio hit for Slipknot.
No.
They're
awesome.
It's all just so cool. I gotta admit, I was a little late to the game on this. I saw them at Ozfest in 2004. I thought they're cool, but I didn't get them. And then when All Hope Is Gone came out, this one right here, it has a special place in my heart. Is the second time I saw them, but I really appreciated them at the time. And I saw them on my bachelor party night, which is cool. It's instead of doing the whole
strip club,
going out just getting drunk. Me and a buddy took me. We went and got drunk the day before, but he took me. He got us front row from the pit, so we were front row center, right against the pit. It was basically 10 rows from the stage, and that was just amazing. It was one of the last tours with Paul Gray.
Oh wow!
So I saw it a week before I got married, which was amazing, and so it very, very cool album for me.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, I wore their concert shirt I bought. I wore on my honeymoon. It's in many pictures. Slipknot.
You're a fan.
Yeah, I am a fan. Yeah. So let's pick of the week. All right, time for Rock Cinema. What do we got tonight?
We're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite movies, House of a Thousand Corpses.
It is an amazing, not only debut for Rob Zombie as a movie director, but just an amazing piece of art.
Cinematic awesomeness.
Yeah, you look at that, and beyond, what is Rob Zombie, it's just a classic horror movie with a great soundtrack, and it's like, I mean, what stuck out to you? What was like your big thing? I know my big thing.
I liked all of his vintage style scene transitions. You see like the Technicolor stars and stripes pop out in between,
right?
And it all looked like something you would see in like a 70s or 80s big horror movie.
Exactly.
All very classic.
Nice. And I'm kind of the same thought pattern. For me, it's like all the vibrant colors. Mm-hmm. A lot of times you see horror movies that are all very dark, and like you have that yellow tint under the gray tint. This was just like the opposite. It's just like reds and blues and greens in your face.
Right.
Especially when at the very beginning when they're going through the fun house
the
type
horror, the murder ride.
Right, the murder ride.
Dr. Satan.
And it's like all really big bright colors.
It's all like glow in the dark.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so for me that was just like that really stuck out. I was like, wow, this is just different. And it's like it was brutal, but not just to be brutal. There was a story behind it.
And he took a common horror movie. I don't even know what the word plot.
Right.
You've got a group of teenagers or young adults traveling in a car, and they get a flat tire.
Right.
You know, so it's your cliche horror movie scenario,
which is okay,
but just done by Rob Zombie
right.
in the way that only he can do it. And it features Sherry Moon.
Exactly.
Who's
exactly.
extremely creepy and sexy at the same time.
So, and there's a couple other people. Haig, is it Sid Haig? Yeah, mm-hmm. Who's kind of became a cult figure now.
Right.
Anytime I see him, anything else is like, just go back to that. He already kind of cornered himself into that that genre. And then when they did The Devil's Rejects, what did you think about that? Because that was, a sequel to
right,
it.
And he still kept the vintage scene transitions.
He did. But it was, here's what I saw. I saw they went from everything with Thousand Corpses was at night. Mm-hmm. And everything with Devil's Rejects was during the day.
Right.
Everything was really bright, it wasn't so colorful. And it was a little more, and it was a lot kind of in your face darker.
I think the first one was just his introduction to, hey, this is the fucked up shit that happened,
right,
and I'm going to make it as gory and as in your face as possible. And then with Devil's Rejects, it was more of, hey, all those people that you saw in the first movie, they're people and they have a family, and I'm going to tell you more about how they're all connected and what's going on with them. Like, these are a group of people that this is their life.
Right.
They're just fucked up degenerates and psychotic to begin with. But they've become a cohesive family unit, and their family just happens to be murder happy.
And it is, in a different way, it was very disturbing because it was very it wasn't so dark where it's like, oh, maybe I didn't see that. Well, this is you saw everything. There's some moments where I was just like, man, that really just was a little tough to watch.
Even the cast and crew commented they had some scenes where it was tough for them to film it. Like everyone was kind of just quiet after.
Yeah, I was quiet after it. It's like, it wasn't. I will say it wasn't as fun as
but even House of a Thousand Corpses, we had that really brutal, graphic kill scene with the late great Karen Black.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that got a little iffy there in parts. It was highly sexual. It
was. And I think Rob Zombie kind of always aims for
Only
that.
Rob Zombie can make getting fucked by a knife seem cinematic.
And he did. It was just okay.
All right then.
Yeah.
That's just all right.
That's right. But I would say if you've not seen either one of those movies, see House of a Thousand Corpses first. And if you like that, which I think you will because it's very metal and it's a great classic modern horror movie. Mm-hmm. Check out Devil's Rejects, which is in its own a really good sequel.
Right.
It's messed up, but it's a very good sequel. And then you kind of judge for yourself, but I think those are two really good Halloween movies.
And if both of those strike out for you can always check out Trick or Treat, which is another great rock and roll horror movie.
You got Gene Simmons, Ozzy Osbourne, and Skippy from Family Ties is the main character.
Fucking Skippy.
You can't beat that. All right, first off, cheers. Cheers, man. Want to wait for you guys to rock side. What's that?
It's a good way to start an interview.
Yeah. This is how we start every interview.
Yes, every interview. Yeah. And we start every show like this. This is the way we go.
Oh yeah.
So I know you guys started about 5 years ago, 2008.
Yeah.
Is that right? And I feel like you kind of started things off and kind of got things kick-started, right?
Yeah. I basically wanted to be in a band since I was like 12 because I'm a lazy cunt and couldn't be bothered with school. I was like, oh, what's fun?
We're all dropouts, aren't we?
Yeah, so what's fun? Alcohol, drugs, sex with random people. I'll be in a band.
All fun.
It doesn't have to be girls. That's
yeah. We'll go
It's
to those stories.
it's a general.
We don't have to go to all those stories either.
Yeah, James.
Yeah. Purposely left that door unlocked.
Yeah.
So did you kind of...
Should we interview James while he's in the shower?
Absolutely.
Just get that camera
I'm
straight.
all about Brits in the shower. Like I said, I lived in London for a little bit, so yeah.
So it'll be all you, not me.
That's funny.
You want to make it in this business, Mark?
Yeah, you better join some people in the
You gotta be willing to scrub a few facts, I'm just saying.
It's your job.
That's funny.
We get after her. So I know you guys have kind of started and you got some friends again. And you kind of launched from there, right?
Yeah, I moved back. I lived in Dubai for a long time, so that's where I started the band originally, but I moved back to the UK when I was 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was 17. And I was friends with Danny. It was kind of weird. I was friends with him online. We knew each other. He could have been a 50-year-old pervy man for all I knew,
But even worse, it was Danny.
it was, yeah. Danny turned up on my door when I got back. I was like, oh no.
I remember you told me that. So, yeah. I was in a band with Danny, so
Yeah, that's how I met this guy and Cam and that. I got Danny to join the band with me, and he knew Sam. He was in a band with Sam and went to college with Sam and Cam, and just went from there. I liked them all and said I already have a record label and everything sorted in the States. Let's move to America and get going. They were like, okay, we'll move to America.
we landed in fucking Newark and we get to a Walmart parking lot and that was our home for a year.
Yeah, I know. It's tricked him.
It's alright, we were still for it though.
So do you guys live in
We
States?
all live in the States now, yeah.
Oh, you
Sam-
do?
Yeah, Sam lives in Orange County, I live in New Jersey, James is in Texas, Cameron's homeless. and
He's in Arizona most of the time. We're all over the place.
Danny's in Dallas.
Huh?
The camera's homeless.
Yeah, Cam is homeless. No one loves him.
So your new album from Death to Destiny. You guys kind of went, I don't want to say a different direction. You guys kind of refined and
I think we're just more competent songwriters now, you know. We've been
Every
playing with
album's
each other.
different, doesn't it? Think about it.
Yeah, we never want to regurgitate and rehash the same album because it would get boring for our fans and us. You know, we don't want to just re-release an album we've already done. What the fuck's the point?
We were, what, how old were we when we were writing Stand
When
Up
we
to
started
Scream?
Screaming, you were 17 and I was
Yeah.
19. And
Really?
He's the youngest and I'm the oldest, so it's
Yeah.
like, and now I'm 25.
You listen to, you know, different things, you grow and mature, as well as get to know each other better with writing. You know, you and James have just kind of moulded into this thing now.
Yeah, we only really knew each other for about a month or two before writing Stand Up and
more of a
Scream.
connection.
You know, yeah, so now we know each other's ins and outs,
Right, James?
and genitalia and everything else in between,
Ins
and
and
now we write
outs.
what we write now.
Well, I know that on this album that you really kind of, from what I heard, from you kind of drew your inspiration from Motley Crue and some other bands too that you kind of grew up with, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we love rock and roll, but you know, we also love like new metal and anything. We love a lot of music, and you know, we've always been that band to try and bring back rock and roll. And it started off with The Spirit by fucking groupies and doing things we shouldn't do, and
It happens.
literally throwing shit out of hotel windows. And we
Oh my
thought, you know,
God.
maybe we should write the album to back it up.
Yeah, I can definitely hear it too. 'Cause, I mean, I listen to it over and over again. It's like you can hear the progression where it goes from like, you know, that 80s influence and kind of goes back to like this time period.
Yeah.
Which is great because not many bands do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think, you know, it's a modern day rock and roll record. Again, same with the regurgitation thing, we can't just rewrite
Right,
an
yeah,
80s
exactly.
album, and that era's done.
Right.
You know, this is a new era that we're trying to...
Use
Build
it by all
ourselves.
means, you know. I mean, take influence from it and put it in your writing book.
Yeah, the past is there for a reason.
Yeah, of
that
course.
we need to learn from, but we're
Exactly.
not supposed to fucking throw it back
You
up.
should find that right balance in it.
Well, I know that you had kind of similar in vein with Korn as far as you guys both produced an album. You guys took it from an earlier album, and they did a recent one before this new one with dubstep. Is that correct?
Yep.
So how does that work in? How do you like go from like fucking metal to like doing that? I think it's really cool because it's such a.
That was a bit of fun at the time. When you mean the steps from scratch?
Correct. Where you kind of get brought that forward, yeah.
I think that was just. We've always considered dubstep to be like the heavy metal of the dance scene, you know?
I agree. Like kind of like bluegrass is for country.
Yeah.
It's a speed metal.
Bluegrass is like country speed metal.
It is, exactly. It is, yeah.
We were just talking about that. Motherfuckers on a steel guitar.
It is. It's
It was
true.
it was just a fun little project we decided to
Work with some of the people.
Y'all just had a wild hair up your ass. Like, why not?
Particularly in our first album, Seven the Scream, we did have a lot of like synthetic sounds and sections, and we like felt like because we were sort of moving away from that as a band and as how we were wanting to write, but you know a lot of our fans still like that. So what better way to like sort of give them some of that more like dancey stuff to listen to than do a whole album of just like of stuff we played around with and made dubstep and.
Well, dude, props to you guys because I think that is really adventurous, and that you just went to like a different level with fans, and you open yourself up, and you guys are still fairly new to we want to say
As far as the music industry is concerned, y'all are babies.
We're Korn's been around for fucking years, and you guys went out there. It's like we're gonna do this, and we believe in this. I think that is so metal for one thing, and so cool. Just like put yourself out there.
We've always just done whatever the fuck we
We did that like
for
a while EP as well. It was just because of the fuck we wanted to do it.
Yeah, we've always done like if we feel like doing something, we'll do it. It doesn't matter if people are gonna go, that's fucking gay or you fucking suck. Now it's like, you know what, we're writing music because we love writing music. We're not gonna pigeonhole ourselves. If we want to create something of a certain genre or what have you, then
If we listen to the people that did say that,
the point of being a musician.
Exactly. Yeah. And you prove it on stage and on vinyl and CD. It's like you guys just fucking rock it.
Thank you.
So, you're welcome.
Well, I do anyway.
All right. So each one of you, where did you get your inspiration from? Like starting. I mean, as far as like what made you play the guitar and your instruments and singing all that stuff. What drove you? Like, yeah, I want to do this.
I just have a very musical family. My grandma played piano, my dad plays the blues harp, and I have a famous conductor in my family from my mum's uncle called Harry Mortimer. And I actually started playing guitar, and I thought, piano, and I thought, this is nice, but it's not going to get me laid. So give me a guitar.
I don't know about that, dude. If you're good on the piano, who do you think?
Yeah, golden fingers, dude.
You have to do that show guitar too. Funny instrument.
Yeah. I started playing because my brother going to shows, local shows when I was young.
We all started with the skin flute, let's be honest.
The skin flute.
Every boy's first instrument.
Yeah.
That's where you learn rhythm, I'm just saying.
It's a
nice.
If you can't keep a 1, 2, 3 on your cock, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen on drum kit. It's not going to happen.
But sorry, carry on.
That was it, just going to local shows when I was younger. Always been the youngest one at shows and stuff.
What you get especially at the shows?
Oh yeah, at my brother's show.
Yeah. Just in the audience.
And I'm like drum beat in the skin flute. In public.
In public.
But when are you going to start to learn how to play drums?
That's all backing track by the way, he's just miming. We nearly fucked up big time tonight.
When the band gets me the one the size of Ray's kit, I might start learning.
I mean,
You want
to start small, but okay, go big or go home, I guess.
Yeah. That's why I've got my 2 bass drums now, because
Because you're
just that badass.
I know, right? It's too badass for one.
You're like, I bring the word double bass to a new meaning.
Yeah.
Right.
Literally.
So it's Halloween.
That's my birthday.
Is it really?
Halloween.
Happy birthday! A couple days early.
Hey,
Nice.
Spooky son of a bitch.
He hates it, don't you?
I fucking despise it.
Do you roll?
You're gonna share your birthday with a whole bunch of entitled.
Well, no one
gives a shit about my birthday. Everyone's like, guys, how
We
are
played
you?
a
Let's
show.
dress up. I'm like, I don't want to dress up on my birthday. I want to dress nice and go out.
Okay, but at least your birthday.
I'm convinced that
I'm-
my
He's just bitter because we
birthday-
actually made him dress up in a gold spandex outfit on his birthday. We all went out in gold spandex.
I'm going to
on
make you
stage.
dress up this year again.
I'm not dressing up this year.
It's online.
I'm going to go in my
Nice.
birthday suit. I'm just going to be naked.
There you go.
I'm going to make you dress
I'm going to
up.
paint my whole body black except my cock.
I'm actually planning to get you the costume. So.
No, dude, you know maybe something fucking ridiculous,
No, it's
like the Easter Bunny.
I have it pictured in my head right now.
In the vein of Halloween, what's the most bizarre story on the road that would like scare people?
Scare people? Okay, this is quite scary. It almost put me off sex forever.
Wait,
we had this.
And from what I've heard, that's gotta be something like major.
Oh god, yeah, this was pretty major. We used to have I guess he was an assistant, used to come out with us, and we used to make him go out around the crowd and ID girls, and if they were 18 and they were hot, bring them back to the bus, and he used to fucking plough them for everyone's enjoyment with a big double-ended dildo.
Hey, they
called Alexander.
They were completely on for it.
Just on for it, just lying there like, woo! And then there was this one girl.
Oh god, this is.
I gipped in my mouth and had to leave. It was the worst smell I've ever smelled in my entire life.
She didn't have a shower.
Pretty scary.
I don't know what the fuck it was.
She just got sweaty.
Something crawled in her vagina.
We were in the
This
dressing
place has
room.
never been this. It was like instead of using a dildo, he was using a massive turd. And just
sounds
ramming
like
that in
it's
all
good. I don't wanna
trees.
do that.
So I left the bus and it scarred me for at least
told us,
40 seconds.
And then it was over.
Then I needed a wank.
Alright, speaking of bizarre, how about the new album cover? Where did that come from?
It basically.
I'm gonna say right now, that's fucking badass.
It was, thank you. I mean, it was. We were going through a really, really tough time during the Reckless Relentless cycle. Just too many drugs and too much of everything, and we took everything to extremes. And basically, what the girl in the vending machine represents is temptation, and the guy is, basically represents us. And instead of going to the vending machine, he's throwing his change at it and walking past it towards a big stadium. So it's like, that's the old Asking Alexandria. This is the new Asking Alexandria, moving on to bigger and better things kind of thing.
Nice.
It was pretty, yeah.
And I mean, there's tits in it. So.
And there's tits.
Well, there you go, exactly.
There's tits on two of our front covers
It
now.
means no.
That's right. It was more. Say more. Say no more.
I mean, we fucked up with the first one. We definitely should have said
A
tits.
microphone,
A
yeah.
fucking microphone.
We were young and stupid. We didn't
Well, you know
realise.
what? You redeemed
You didn't
yourselves.
know the importance of
tenfold.
tits.
We got Belladonna on the next one, and we got.
The way they're passed, I had that even comparison to that is from Fuel, and there's like a priest in a robe.
Getting sucked off by a young boy.
Yes.
Oh, yes!
Yes. That's brilliant.
Yes, I think that's
was
what
like,
was our
wow.
top two eventually.
Yeah, I was like, fuck.
That's fucking
I got a frame dash.
The company wouldn't put their name on the back of the bus.
I'm
though.
so
Yeah.
Catholic.
Yeah. The company that we get all our passes from were just like so disgusted with our pass that they would promote it as in their product.
Really?
Yeah.
So how's the tour going? Is this the first?
This is the first
yeah.
leg,
The
yeah.
first leg,
This
right?
is the
Because
first.
I noticed there's like a bunch of Texas
It
states.
honestly feels like last tour, because last tour we were out with Corn, extended really.
Now, when you guys started off, did you want to like, okay, we're gonna conquer. Obviously, the UK's already done. We're gonna conquer the states.
Yeah, we actually came to the
Yeah.
States first.
We
should
conquered
all-
the UK.
We conquered the UK.
One show was played together in the UK.
Yeah.
The first show we played was just in the outskirts of Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, for
Wow.
sure.
That's really cool.
Because usually it's backwards. Usually you conquer the
Exactly.
European market.
That was the-
That was what we did differently because we have so many friends and seen so many
Maybe
bands
that was-
just struggle in the UK and like really find it hard to get out and get in like and the most they'll do is get to Europe or like you know what I mean,
Great
like,
bands.
working their asses off and we were like
We just
fuck
ripped
that.
the band-aid off, so to speak, like, fuck it, let's go.
Like fuck it, we're gonna do America first because it was. I mean, and then when we go over, we're like, oh, this is easy as fuck. Everyone loves us.
So what's the next step for you guys? I mean, you guys just put the album out. I know you guys are touring right now. It's getting kind of towards the end of the year. Do you have a big bunch of summer festivals lined up for next
We're
year?
actually trying to work out what we're doing in summer.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of
Big
offers
ideas.
coming through at the moment, so we're just trying to figure out.
Looks good though.
Which, yeah, there's a lot of really, really cool offers coming, so
Cool.
we just have to figure out which one we want to do.
Awesome. Well, we will be there.
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for joining us for Rock City, man.
Ah, you're more than welcome. Thank you for letting us be part of it.
Man, we really appreciate it, and always rock on.
Fuck yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, ready for some rock and roll DNA. So I'm gonna
go this direction this time.
All right, so this was my pick this week. I wanted to talk about the first song that you ever listened to on repeat after a really brutal breakup. So why don't you go ahead and bare your soul with us?
Well, mine was after my divorce, and it wasn't really just one song. It was actually the first two 3 Day Grace albums, and they just talked to me like big time. I mean, both those albums. I can't even pick one song. It was just both those albums. So if I hear it, it's almost kind of weird to hear it now because it doesn't pertain because I've been remarried to a much more incredible person, and it was in the past for that time, but it really helped me get through what I needed to get through.
Awesome. Mine was just one particular song. It's an acronym. It's a song by System of a Down. It's an acronym for Air, Trees, Water, and Animals. So ATWA.
Cool.
But the lyrics are just very blunt and to the point. Like, you don't care about how I feel. I put that CD in my CD player and put it on repeat and fell asleep crying. Like that was one of my first breakups that was super emotional and just like end of the fucking world as far as I was concerned. Never gonna live, never gonna taste anything again. So but after about 7 days of hearing that song, I was like, it's gotta get fucking better than this.
Well, that touches your soul. I mean, it's that kind of music that really kind of gets in. It's like, okay, it kind of heals what needs to be healed.
These guys wrote this song for me.
Right,
Because that's exactly how it feels. Because everything in that song spoke to something that was going on at that particular point in time.
I agree. That, and that's why they do what they do, is to help. Even though they may not know it, to help people through stuff.
To give us a medium.
Exactly. Yes. Cheers.
And for that, we thank you.
Yes. All right, time for the free-for-all of the week.
Books.
Yes. Yeah, believe it or not, to read.
And, some people read, some people don't. But artists, they write books. Sometimes they're informative. Sometimes it's just like, hey, I fucked all these broads.
Right. Exactly. And for me, it's like, I can get the dirt, literally, like from Motley Crue. I can get the dirt or the trash stuff, from Blabbermouth or whatever. But if I'm buying an autobiography on a band, I don't. For the most part, it's like you throw that in there. It's funny, ha ha ha.
Right.
But I want to know,
where did you come from?
Yeah, exactly. What drew you into where you are today, and what made you who you are? I mean, obviously, all the other antics, we all know that goes on.
Everybody fucks. Like, I get that.
Right.
I want to know about that.
Exactly. It's like I've heard that a million times. Tell me something I don't know.
Right. Like, if I'm spending money on your book, then I better get something that I didn't read in a magazine, that I didn't see in an interview. Like, I want to know something deeply personal to
Exactly. And, I can name a few. Like, the Sammy Hagar book is excellent. I mean, he puts it all out there about Van Halen and about growing up, and being discovered by Montrose and being in that band. And how, it's very much a musical journey. And also with Tony Iommi is another great autobiography. Ozzy's is good. They could be, I'm sure a lot of that was kind of like Sharon's, I'm sure, saying, oh, don't say this, or do say this.
You gotta go by the book, Ozzy.
Yeah. So, but it was cool. Stephen Adler's is very good. I've read quite a few of The Dirt. I know you started reading that.
Mm-hmm.
That has some pretty messy stories.
Diaries.
Heroin Diaries
Really
is one of the best different books. Nikki Sixx rocked it with that.
Yeah, he did.
It's gonna be hard to beat that one period. So, I like books like that. When they start telling me too much about their childhood, I'm kind of like, check out a little while. And then when they tell me too much about their just like, hey, look at me type thing, it's like, I just want to know the meat potatoes about how it became what it became.
I enjoy the stories about I'm fucking broke and
I do too.
I stole some beer from a liquor store and stole a guitar so I could start learning how to play. Like, I kind of enjoy that kind of stuff.
I agree.
Yeah, you lifted a Les Paul out of a guitar store. Like, that's cool. You couldn't really do that nowadays. But.
Right, but and they deal with the intent to be someone.
Right.
It wasn't like, hey, I'm stealing something. It was like, I'm doing this for a reason. I know Slash has done that throughout his childhood and stuff, so
that really was one of my favorite parts in The Dirt, when he said he stole a bass guitar, I think it was.
Right, yeah.
And he's like, I got a guitar, I want to be in the band. And he's like, well, you can't, that's a bass. He's like, well, I'll play guitar and a bass then.
Right,
I was like,
yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
So, and that meant something. It's like, yeah, that kind of brought.
He didn't care what it
was.
was. I want to be part of this.
Right, he wanted to be part of the gang almost, yeah. So that's where I kind of draw the line. It's like I like hearing stuff that actually means something, and I can go back. And one of the things I like to do when I'm reading a book is go back through their catalog and listen to it while I'm reading. So it has a reference point.
You get context.
Yeah, but I'm kind of weird like that. So, yeah, that's kind of our this week's not throwdown, but free for all.
Feel free to tweet us if you've read some books that you enjoy. Feel free.
Exactly. I like to hear what you've read. Maybe I'll pick them up and read them too. All right, concert news this week. There's one badass show coming.
Fucking A.
Man, we got to be there too.
Lamb of God.
Killswitch Engage.
Testament.
And Huntress.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is going to be one badass show. I mean,
you're going to get your socks rocked the fuck off. So I suggest just leave them at home and get your ass to the show.
Exactly. Have you seen any of the bands before?
I've actually been to 3 Killswitch concerts, but I've actually only had the pleasure of seeing them live once. Unfortunately, I was too excited the first 2 times and kind of drank myself asleep.
For another episode.
It happens to the best of us. But Killswitch is fucking amazing in concert. I've been a fan of theirs since Howard was the singer, since they picked up the new singer. I mean...
And then actually, the new singer was the old singer before Howard.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're flawless. Like, it's seamless when you listen to one album to the next. You almost, unless you're die hard about them, you almost can't tell the difference, because they pulled that guy out of the audience. He was just a die-hard fan that had been to every single show, knew every song, every lineup, everything that they did, and that's a fucking rock star's dream. Just got pulled up out of the audience, and you're in the fucking band, man.
Exactly. It's kind of like the Rockstar movie.
Exactly. But yeah, that's going to be one of the most killer shows ever. And you've seen Testament?
I've seen Testament a few times, and they're basically old school thrash back from San Francisco. Been around since the 80s. They were in the same kind of clubs as Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer and Exodus. So they're all in the same kind of realm. They're fantastic.
So it's going to be a good overall night. And Lamb Chop.
God.
I call them Lamb Chops. That's my affectionate name for them, is Lamb Chops, because they all have fucking killer chops.
They do.
And they put on a great show. But yeah.
And it's funny. The first time I saw them, I've seen them 3 times. And I didn't really get them until the last time I saw them, which was probably about 4 years ago. I was like, okay, now I get it. I just had to kind of like get to the point, and then I was like, oh, okay, I get what they're all about. They're fantastic.
I want to say that the Killswitch show that I saw them finally was, I think they were billed as the Unholy Trinity, and it was Lamb of God, Killswitch, and Chimera.
That sounds right, yeah.
And I remember because I love Chimera, but either way, all the nonsense aside, it's going to be a great show. And
Huntress, I heard that they have a female lead singer, and they're fantastic, so make sure they're early to check them out as well. I mean, that's 4 amazing bands on one bill. So go check it out. It is November
2nd.
All right. All right, we're at Rock City, and we are at Verizon Theater in Grand Prairie, just like Horn.
Verizon.
Heads back, that was great.
I'm drunk.
That was great.
Hey.
Drunkenness is good.
So enjoy the show?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. It was really refreshing to see Head back on stage with the Monkees, see them doing their chemistry back, see them doing costumes on stage, laughing at each other, enjoying each other's company, them being cool with whatever faiths and channels of life they want to live, they still assimilate together and on stage.
Coexisting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I saw a little dry humping on stage. That's always good to see. It's good to see it. It's hard when Head's in a skirt like that.
Especially that soggy ass.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Talking like frosted mini wheat sitting in milk for 30 minutes. That was his ass.
So what do you got coming up?
Wow. Don't know where to start. Well, I've been recording an album all throughout this year. It's going to be called Manifestive. It'll be out the beginning of next year, 2014. That's next year as of now. It's being mixed in Wisconsin right now. I'm about to relocate to Northern California to finish up the recording. Rendezvous with Tuya Ramirez from a little band called Marilyn Manson?
I've heard a little about it. I'm not sure about that.
He's going to be brushing up some vocals and guitars with me in December, January-ish. Getting on tour in the northwestern United States, then getting back to Texas by April. And that's as far as I can see right now.
Awesome. That's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
it's gonna be pretty cool. Like kind of a one-man show, haunted house, weird, creepy thing. You worry for the
So like your
well-being of
everyday
your
life.
children. Brought to yes.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is the fucked up shit that happens.
Welcome to Taylor's Fun House.
Exactly.
Paragraph Taylor, because I can say in a paragraph, most people can say in a sentence. Talky, so I consolidate it down to songs, and they're pretty real. You know, they make you want to kill yourself or kill somebody you love, or you know, like any good song does.
It's a good time.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's a great time. So that's what's going on here in the camp. I've had a pretty exciting year. Had a bunch of crazy stuff happen. I ended up had a beautiful band that I wrote a lot of songs for called Secret of Horus. I parted ways with them earlier in this year, not the most tasteful of manners at first, but I ended up, reconciling differences with the guys. Everything was cool. I played with Atticane for a while. That was really fun. Cool. That was like being in Nine Inch Nails, him, Metallica at the same time. It's like a little dream fanboy thing, keeping up with Ryan Ray and the Action's fucking educational. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. But they're doing their own thing, staying in the core three. They are. Secret of Horus is a new guy, Ryan Bird. They're going to be playing on Halloween. Everybody knows. There might be some surprises there if you guys want to go see them.
Them.
So that'll be neat.
Awesome. Well, man, so glad we ran into you.
Yeah, absolutely. So glad you guys throw your ass off.
Yes.
Alec here.
Thank you for hanging out and talking to us.
Thank you so much.
Likewise.
All right, man.
See you in the future.
Thank you for joining us for our Halloween episode at Breaker's Ball!
Thank you for joining this week on Rock City.
Make sure you check us out on Twitter, and as always, like, share, and subscribe.
And happy Halloween and rock on.